Can my brother clean up the house? Not the house, but can he do the dishes?
I'm live. I'm alive. Right now, we're not going to discuss it. So just take her out. Just take her out. See who's on here this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Beverly. How are you? How are you? Let some people get in here. 3. Well, I'm a little conflicted. We'll get into that in a minute. Waiting on more people to show up. So, where is SoCal? Am I supposed to, I know I've heard of it, just don't know exactly where that's at. 7. Where's everybody at? I'm only seeing Beverly. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, okay. Okay. Good morning, Hot Damn. How are you? When the numbers come up a little bit, this morning, I'll get into what's going on. If everybody would give us a like and a share, that would be awesome. It'll help get us out there a little bit. I'm in Southern California. Are you? I don't I don't know if I could live in California. I think I've said this before. I don't think I could live in California for real. There's just too much crap going on. There's too many bad people in that place running the government. It's just unreal the things y'all deal with and the prices y'all deal with. The high desert. Wow. I didn't know California had desert. I thought it had, well, I don't know that much though. Good morning, Aruba. Um, let's see. I'm kind of waiting to see who all pops in and when the numbers kind of level off a little bit, and we'll get into what my um, live is about. There is no way you could have possibly walked that dog that fast. Yeah, you didn't give her time.
I did give her some. I gave her like.
My kids. So this morning, I think it was my oldest one come out with everything going on with what the news is. He goes, but yeah, California is expensive for sure. Good morning, troublemaker. I know, right? My kids are just, they're 11, no, not 11, they're 12 and 13, and they think they're grown. Yeah, we are. It's just been a real weird morning. At 5:30, there's 11 of us now. So at 5:30 this morning, everybody give us a like and a share to see if it'll help draw some more people in here. But 5:30 this morning, I get a call from my son, oldest son, and I haven't heard from him in about probably been almost 6 months. And cell phone changed everything. So I was like, okay. So he gives me a call and he tells me, he said, Mom, he's like, I want to prepare you. He's like, Mima, which is my mother, passed away this morning at 5:30. My mother was 71 years old, and there was a time and place when she and I were very close. But after I had my two youngest, excuse me, after I had my two youngest, that severed our ties. But my son's going to be going through a lot. Yeah, that's it. Whereas, all right, troublemaker, I can take the dog out and we walk for like 15 minutes. You know, she does her thing and I let her walk. The kids can take them out. Thank y'all. Well, good morning, third. How are you? Um, we the thing about it is let's just put it this way, that my children and their heritage is an issue with me and my mom, and it severed our ties. Literally severed our ties. She took pictures down. I erased her from everything because of the way she was acting. It was just absolutely crazy, that the type of, me personally, I would never let something that my son chooses to do sever my ties with my children. There is no way. So, but I guess the difference is the generation that I was raised in versus my mom, because my mom was, you know, she went to school during segregation and stuff like that, when races of any kind didn't mix and this, that, and the other. So yeah, she absolutely. And then of course my stepfather was all about images, and he was all about wanting to. He was the mayor of a town that had 300 people, guys. 300 people. Good morning, Carol. You should have lunch with hubby. I'm just on here trying to, man, since I got the news this morning, number one, I've got like, there's a part of me, and this is what makes it so difficult. There's a part of me that remembers when she and I were really close. And there's a part of me also that remembers what she has done to me since then. So my intake on this is conflicted, because I know things even that my son doesn't know, and a reality of things that even my son doesn't know. And she spent the last 15 years making sure that he's told every lie on the man and yada yada. So yeah, it's a long story, and it would take forever to explain it. But um, you know, and what's so ironic about this whole thing? Okay, my sister and my mom was like that. Never spoke for 40 years plus up to her death 5 years ago. But I finally reached out to her after her husband died last year at 73. They were married 43 years, no kids. Well, there were so many times that I thought maybe the that the bridge gap between she and I might could be bridged now that I was older, but she would have never accepted my two boys, which would have always been an issue. So I'm not going to put myself or my children in that circumstances. So, but my son, however, does need me. So I'm going to have to fly home for a couple of days. And he and I, for the first time in a long time, are going to get to spend a little time together. And that would be pretty awesome. But what is so funny about this situation is my mother basically disowned me because I have two not like solid white kids, and her grandson is dating a transgender male or female one. So I just thought that was kind of funny. The irony. The irony. I'll be right back. I'm going to open this door for this dog. I knew you wasn't done. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. The dog goes to the door to go out the back where there's a fence, but he walked the dog. So, okay. So I should have turned my do not disturb on before I started the live feed because my notifications keep popping up at the top of the screen. This is unnerving. But I don't know if I turn it off. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Now that'll stop. I keep forgetting about it. But yeah, my mom and I just never could. I don't know, when her and my stepfather got married, her and my stepdad got married. My stepdad was, like I said, he was the mayor of a town that's 300 and something people. And I saw judges being paid off in my backyard, and his friends were cops, and just a good old country boy, click type people. And he was always the type that he was readily available to throw out some money whenever when he wasn't afraid to throw out money to sway a judge one way or the other when um it come down to whatever, I, there's so many daggum people I saw him hand money to in our yard that were cops, you name it. I understand the conflict of emotions because my father, who passed last March, was off more than on, and the last 2 years we didn't talk at all. Just be there for your son. That's the reason I'm going back to Georgia, is because of him. Um, he and I have a lot to talk about, and we need to actually put ourselves in a situation where we can do that. And hopefully this will help bridge. She'll help in the end. She's going to help bridge the gap between me and my son, so that we can actually be mom and son. You know, she stole that from me, and it's like I said, it's a long story, but we grew up in a small Georgia town where there wasn't but 20,000 people countywide. We had um, one elementary school, we had one middle school, and one high school. My graduating year, which was in 1992, I graduated with, I think, 172 seniors from all over the county. So small county. Um, the town still today looks like it did when I grew up. Nothing's changed, but they won't let it change. And there's like two places to work. There's a state prison, and there is a place that makes lawnmowers, and that's it. Unless you want to drive 40 miles to work at Walmart, or 40 miles to the nearest decent hospital, I mean, it's like small. So my stepdad always thought he was hot shit because he was the mayor of this um, little bitty dink town. But his parents is where the money was at. It wasn't him necessarily. It was his father and his mother. And back in the early late 60s and 70s and probably up until somewhere in the upper part of the 70s, there was no such thing as liquor stores and things of that nature in that area. You would have to drive county out of state lines to get alcohol. And the little town my dad's mayor of is unincorporated, so they don't even have a police force. There's 350 some odd people that live there to this day, and no cops, no red lights, no stores, nothing. So there was a liquor store, and they didn't fall under the county rules because they were unincorporated. So they built a liquor store and made a ton of money back in the day when people couldn't get alcohol in Georgia. But when they started opening liquor stores everywhere, they ended up selling it. So, but he comes, I mean, they made money, and that's where the money in his family comes from. And he sure didn't mind slinging it around. And he used it to buy things and to buy people, to buy verdicts, that kind of thing. So, every judge, every cop, every anybody that's anybody in that county, he knows them. He grew up with them. So we ended up being, I kind of got railroaded basically and lost my son out of the mix. And because of the situation with my mom and I, she wanted personal information. She wanted to know where I live. She wanted my address so she could constantly try to get me locked up for something stupid, you know. And I refused to live my life that way, and it was putting my child through hell. So I stopped until he got old enough to make a decision on his own. For him, for us, for everybody, it was just what I had to do, you know. So her passing is bittersweet, but my mom, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was in my late to early 20s. And I actually quit a job and moved home to help her and stayed with her the whole time she was sick. But I had Chris and Aiden after that, and it severed that tie. It didn't matter that we were perfectly fine up until that point, as far as mother and daughter is concerned. Just because of my decision and the fact that I wouldn't let her control it, and it was actually my stepdad in the background controlling it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was always my own person. I was raised by my father, and my father raised me to be independent. He also raised me to know how to take care of myself in a circumstance where things get snug and tight, like we're going through now as a society. So, y'all are real quiet. Chat's not moving. Who all's still here? Because I can't see who's here. I can just see who's chatting. I just don't think there's I don't think there's a normal anymore. You would consider a couple like me and Deuce normal. And normal being a heterosexual couple. Uh, when I was a mess this morning and I was falling apart, I looked at Deuce and I said, I need to go live. And Deuce said, no, this is not the time to go live. I said, but Deuce, I want to talk to my friends. And he's like, no, they don't need to see you like this. So yeah, she just, but as far as like her and my stepfather providing a stable, love filled home for my son, that was never the issue. And at some point, it became a more of an issue of it. It became more painful for him than it would have helped, and it was painful for everybody involved. And that kind of pain is the thing that when he and I meet, that he needs to understand is that everybody felt that pain, and me walking away just about killed me. But for him, I did it. So I don't know if he'll ever fully understand, the sacrifice that I made and what I allowed myself, oh Lord, what I allowed myself to go through because of the decision I made. But the whole situation was tearing us all apart. So, somebody had to be a freaking adult and do something that was logical and that made sense and that was grounded. And you take me out of the mix and it takes everything away. So I was the logical choice at that point. So I did. I mean, I did what I thought was right at the time because my stepfather, there was no such thing as me going in front of a judge in Telfair County and having a fair trial. And that had already been proven one time. So, um, I just feel part of me is hurt that she's gone, and a part of me is like a large part of me just is worried for my child. So, but there was a time and there was a part of me that loved her a lot, you know, but I know I have to forgive her too. But the thing is I really don't know how to feel about anything right now. I'm just kind of numb. So I thought I'd go in here and just kind of vent, you know, um, let you guys know kind of what's going on with me. I'm fixing to have to fly home. Um, and I don't, I normally don't ask for anything at all, but we really need some help for anybody that could help for just like spending money when I get to my dad's and gas and stuff like that. I have to help him because he can't do it by himself. So I have Cash App and Carol's got that information. She could probably post it up. Don't Carol, you have it, right? And I just really need y'all's prayers and I need y'all's understanding right now because it's rough. It's rough because it's almost like when I go home, it's almost like walking into enemy territory, if that makes any sense. It's like walking into to the enemy's territory. So, and it's really not a place that I like to be. And it's a scary place. So, Deuce's mom and stepdad are working on my flight. Wyoming girl. My mom, good morning. I didn't see you in here, and good morning. My mom left when I was little and just lost my mama, whom helped raise me. Um, I don't. Carol's driving, so hold on. Third, I think also is driving. Third, you're still driving. Yep. Hold on, y'all. This is my Cash App information, guys. Anything you could do would help. Um, you're so sweet. I love y'all. What happened to? I love all my Freedom family, man. I couldn't, y'all. I told Santa and everybody, y'all saved my life. My head was in some stupid shit. Convoy Santa stories and just his just watching him through the convoy slowly but surely pulled me out of that stuff. Um, that is my Cash App, guys. I can transfer it from me to Deuce's account, but we I'm just kind of at that point where I feel like that if we that I'm going to be in a broad range of emotions for the next couple of days. Um, she was having, I don't even know if I told y'all, she was having some kind of GI problem, and my stepdad took her to the hospital, and they determined that she had a blockage, and they were going to do an ultrasound on her today. But at like 11 or 12 o'clock last night, my stepfather got a call because apparently he wasn't at the hospital, that they had to move her to the ICU. And when they got her in the ICU, apparently it just went downhill from there. So, and whatever it was that was blocking, whatever busted, ruptured. And that's what actually, so that's all we know right now. It's all right. It's all right. I'm actually starting to get a little bit of a headache, and I'm going to have to take something for that pretty soon. It's just the irritation and the stress of it all. But I'd rather sit here and kind of talk it out with you guys than, because other than Deuce and the boys, I really ain't got no family. Thank you. I've got to, good morning, Charlene. I've got to make a trip to Georgia. So, um, me and Deuce are trying to piece it together and figure out how we're going to get this, how we're going to make this happen after he's been out of work. After he's been out of work because of a freaking freeze that was here for a week and a half. I swear it took a week for the ice to melt. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why I told Deuce, I said, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to have a channel that's not associated in some shape or form with 1776 because that's where we got most of our followers. But, and we're Freedom Family to the last dying breath. Yeah. Good morning, Hot Damn. Um, so, and me, an interesting fact about me, and I don't tell people this very often, but in a world of AI robots working in our place, anything's possible kind of crap. So, you know, when I was growing up, I always had like, well, when it first started, I didn't understand it at all, but I could see things. And each time that this happened to me when I was young, it happened at different points and it happened in different ways. But my foresight was very, very sharp and accurate. And it was really strange. And I was an awkward child because of it, because I didn't understand it myself. But like, an example of it was back in like 1978, my father and I were sitting in the middle of my living room. And I had to be younger than my kids. And this is back when they still had rotary dial phones, and you had a wire that connected the friggin' phone to the a base, and it had to be plugged in and shit. Um, but the phone rang. It was way before caller ID, and the phone ringing. I just looked at my dad and I'm like, that's bad news. And my dad just looked at me kind of funny and brushed it off and answered the phone. And we had received a phone call that my grandmother had had a massive stroke and was taken to the hospital. And so it's really, like I said, it's kind of strange. But as I became and as I got older, I began to understand it a little bit better, and it became much more sharper as I grew older. So it was this particular insight was given to me probably, I wouldn't even hesitate to say 8 to 10 years ago. Um, and I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when. Yeah, it is. You're right, Wyoming, and it's not even it's not even a gut thing at times. And in two circumstances in my life, it has been a very forceful like it foresight. It was like it was. In other words, you can't shake it. It wouldn't go away. It just keeps on keeping on. And yep, intuition, but the clarity of it, I don't know if you would even consider it, intuition at that point. Okay, I have a call coming in. You guys are going to have to hold up just a minute. Put on some clothes. Can you guys hear me and see me now? I just need somebody to type that that you can see me. I'm sorry. The phone, with everything going on, I had to answer the phone. I see me live on the screen now. All right. Sorry about that. I don't have a backup cell phone. When I go live on the phone that I'm on. So, getting back to the premonitions, yeah, I had a premonition about basically what this one was that something was going to happen and that she was going to be gone, and some accident or whatever, and that was what was going to bring me and my son back together. So it's kind of ironic now that it's playing out the way it is. Of course, I saw that one in particular. I actually went through as a dream, and it was a real vivid dream. It was such a vivid dream that I felt like, you know, I felt like it was real, if that makes sense. Turn it down some, Chris, please. So I didn't know everybody left. I apologize for that, you guys, but yeah, my phone's been kind of busy today. So I just really need you guys' prayers. And when I fly, my dad's going to have to go into the airport and pick me up. And then we've got another hour and a half drive from the airport down. Mm-mm. Nah, we're just, I'm just doing what I need to do for closure. Because I feel like that this lady was my soul, my heart and soul for many, many years. And as an adult is when our connection got severed. So growing up, she was all right. Yeah, she still is my mama. But my stepfather and I talked. My son talked to my stepdad. He doesn't want me to come to the funeral because I mean, it was like she was so dead set against mixing the races that it severed everything with me and her. Yeah, I don't know because honestly, to be honest with you guys, if it wouldn't have been for the mistakes I made in those days, because see, that was our biggest beef. My stepdad wanted to control me, and I refused to let him. And he tried to use her to control me. And as when I was growing up, yeah, but when I got into my 20s and stuff like that, and I was still living around the area, he still tried to, control what I did because it was all about images for him. It was all about how it would portray things on him, not nothing to do with me. It was all about him. Oh man, I'm the mayor. I've got a certain like persona that I've got to hold myself to, and this is just the way it's going to be, and yada yada. And I'm used to everybody walking around going, when I tell them to do something and I tell them to jump, they go, how high kind of shit. And I'm just not built that way. I'm my father's child. I'm not the subservient type at all. Believe you me, ass deuce. So, but yeah, we just, it's been a roller coaster this morning, and I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to act. I've just got like all this shit going through my head. And so I was like, well, now that I've gotten myself composed a little bit, I'll go live. Well, I really and truly try not to be, but when it Deuce is like, I love him. I love him with all my heart, but he's like dealing with one of the kids sometimes because he's so set in his ways. And then he'll be trying to do something that just makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm just looking at him going, why are you doing that? And, but I've never met a person in my time. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Wyoming. That's true. Um, I don't know. I just I'm just trying to get everything kind of like, because my father lives in Georgia, and when I left my dad's house and went to Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta 1 year before I met Deuce, and then my lease was up, and it was all colliding at one time, and we ended up coming here, and so it's like there wasn't really nothing in Georgia for me but my dad and my child, and my child was in Michigan, so but my connection with my father is extremely important as well. So more so than anything else in Georgia. My father, that's when y'all gonna have to put me in the insane asylum. Daddy's girl, mama's boys. That's the way it goes. So, yep, I got to get there. I got to get home, and it's going to be good to see my dad because I miss him a lot. And yeah, it's going to be. There's good things about what's happened. So me and Terry may never, me and my stepdad may never see eye to eye again. You know, me and him. I was a daddy's girl. I had four older brothers, and he raised us. Yeah, I mean, my dad my dad worked for, at the time, this was back in the early 70s. My dad worked for a little company where they made tires, and he worked locally. He didn't have to drive far to work, and he worked and put my mama through nursing school so that she could get her LPN license. And after she got it, it just wasn't working for her no more. And she met my stepdad, who was, turn that TV down, please. I told you I was live, and that crap's loud. You need to watch normal stuff. Did they even make normal stuff anymore?
This was deal. This was deal.
Oh, so yeah, it's just, and then finally, because we got up so early this morning, that Deuce was woke up like as soon as it was crazy because my phone rang, and ordinarily I would let it ring, but because of the early hour, exactly, because of how early it was, I checked the phone to see who was calling me, and when I saw the name come across my caller ID, I was like, oh. So I answered the phone, and my son broke down on the phone, and it's just when you get them phone calls, you just know, or you can tell by the way somebody's looking at you or acting around you, that they're fixing to tell you some shit that you are not going to like, or whatever. I remember when my grandfather died, my mama's main concern, because I was 6 months pregnant with this same kid, and my mom was all stressed out because she was scared I was going to lose him because of all the stress of my grandfather dying, because me and my grandfather were really tight. And just like you're breakable, like your glass. And then to think about how much hatred there was between me and her when she passed away is just unreal. Unreal. So, like, my mom almost got me fired from a job as an adult. I worked in a state prison, and I worked in the medical department, and hated that damn job from the day one. But my car had like some kind of freaking malfunction, and I worked every day, so I had to have my vehicle. And my stepfather, one of the things he was logical, and knowing that I took care of his grandchild, he immediately put my car in the shop. But he let me borrow their it was a Jeep Cherokee. He let me borrow their Jeep Cherokee for the week because I worked at the prison, had to have my way back and forth to work. And while they worked on my car, and I pulled up there at the prison one day, and I got in the car and accidentally left my lighter in the medical building in my purse, because I always grabbed, if I was going to lunch, I grabbed my keys and I grabbed just a little bit of cash, headed out the door, and would drive and go get me a bite to eat and come back to work. And I just took the necessities there. Everything in that place is on camera. Nothing's gonna happen that you ain't gonna see. So I left my purse right there by my desk in the office, and just left out and went to work, and or went to drive off and didn't have a lighter. And my mom is a pro at stashing one, and like she always kept a lighter in the side panel of her door. And I was looking for it, and then my fingers started feeling other stuff, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And I took it out and picked it up, and I noticed it was kind of heavy, and I was like, "What the freak is in this vehicle?" And I unzipped it, and it's a damn 9 millimeter that's registered, and my mother has a license to carry, but I don't have a license to carry, and I'm on federal property, so therein we have a problem. And it had been there all week, and I didn't know it, but they randomly would search our vehicles, and that would have been my job. It was crazy. So I mean, there was a time when we were normal, where we had a normal relationship, and I was an adult because I was working. I was this stuff with her. Nicholas was like 7 or 8. So, and he's 18 now, not fixing to be 19 this year. So yeah, it's crazy. So one of the things that I have noticed this morning, and I know it's going to sound real stupid, but I feel free. Finally, after years of this woman tearing my life literally apart, I have my freedom back. And I don't have to worry anymore about any of that shit that happened so many years ago. And I can breathe. And it's surreal. Does that make sense to y'all at all? This woman made me lose homes. She made me lose jobs. She she got an increase on my child support so high that I couldn't support my other 2 kids if I worked, because I couldn't afford to put gas in my car. Um, she told me the day that she found out what was going on, that who I chose to be with, she said she would make sure she took everything that meant anything from me. And that's exactly what she did. And at some point, I just had to step away and let bygones be bygones and let things pan out. And I'm 50 years old, will be this year. And my son is fixed to be 19, and she is no longer here. So, yep, that's where we're at. And I think when she passed, even though there's a part of me that loved her that's sad, the part of me that she has kept in bondage all these years is now free. So it don't matter anymore. She's 21 years older than myself right now. So, and I hope, and see, bitterness like that'll kill you. You know, when you hold that kind of resentment towards someone, if you don't control it, or try to let that crap go, it will consume you to a point that it'll eventually be the death of you. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, and 90% of the time, the person that you're angry at just don't give a damn. And that was me. I just moved on. I picked up and moved on. And I had a rocky go at it until I met Deuce. But when I met Deuce, that kind of shifted it. So I spent a lot of time in those years alone. And considering what I was dealing with Chris and his disabilities, it was really the best move for me. It made it harder for me, but considering everything, it was the best move. So let's see. Has anybody, and I know that yesterday Silly for Him was in Troopers chat. I've not spoken to her lately. I need to touch base. So I'm going to get off of here pretty quick and just make sure she's all right because I haven't been seeing her in my lives. I don't know. I hope I didn't upset her. Stop it.
Yes.
My kid. Such a butt. Makes you want to just pick up something heavy and hard and knock him upside his head with it. So, yep. You guys just think about me. I'm fixing to get off of here. I just wanted to just kind of get on here and just vent, talk, get it out. Um, Not really worried about anybody understanding or not understanding. It's just crazy. Um, if every one of us, I think, believes in prayer, so y'all keep praying. Like I said, I did give that somewhere in here. The Cash App information's there. If anybody could bless it, that would be great because I've got to make that trip. And the weather and stuff, we looking sad, sad, sad right now. So God's going to intervene and it's going to fall into place. But you guys just be y'all think about me. Just pray for me. You probably not going to see me a lot of places the next couple of days. So, but I will come on before I fly out. Thank you, Miss Deborah. So I'm going to fly home and get some much needed R&R and spend some time with my daddy, which I can never have enough time with my father. I'm going to make him take me fishing, or at least on a boat ride. I'll take you guys some pictures of the lake and post them on YouTube so y'all can see them. Might go live at the lake one night, just walk down there and go live at sunset so you guys can see Lake Sinclair. It's absolutely beautiful at sunset. So, I mean, I'm open to anything. My StreamYard will work there just like it works here. I'm gonna miss my Deuce though. I asked him this morning. I said, "You gonna be all right if I have to go home?" And he's like, "No." He was like, "I'm gonna fall apart. My life's gonna fall apart." So y'all really be if when you guys hear that I'm actually going and I've got my flight and everything, y'all be thinking about Deuce. He's gonna have the kids. I can't afford to play. It's all I can do to get this together for just me. There's no way I could get 3 flights. Although, but then again, and again, they never knew her. See, that's the thing. My mom never knew these kids. She never knew. She never knew anything about them other than the fact of what she couldn't look past. That's all she ever knew. So them being there would be pointless. I would rather them be here and stay in their normal scheme of things than try to be with a woman or go and pay respects to a woman that never gave anything for them kids. She never bought them a card. She never acknowledged them. She never seen them. Nothing. Yeah, There is a and I apologize for the loud TV, but it's right here in the room with me. So, and they have it like way low, but it's way loud. But yeah, water, trickling water is my thing. Whether it's a severe thunderstorm, which is like one of my lives, I was outside and thunder was so loud it rattled the house, and I like to jump down in my skin. I was outside filming the rain. Um, when stuff like that happens, I try to be a part of it, but I find it soothing. I can think. It's like I can clear my head. I can read. I can write some of my best poetry when I'm by water. And nothing is more beautiful in the background than running water and a waterfall, in my opinion. And see, that's my dad has had a tin roof installed back on the house that one day will be mine. And I grew up there, and it's a matter of fact, when I leave to go to DFW, I'm going to go to my dad's house. Clearly hear you. It's probably my phone that's all messed up. Is anybody else having problems hearing me? Because if you are, I'll get the boys to turn down the TV some. It's already like way low, but it's just echoing in this room. So, but what do you say to yourself or to your mother as you stand above her um, graveside, her dead and gone? What do you say to her at that point in time? It's too late to make any changes. It's too late to look back and say what could have been. I spent the last 15 years doing that. Why? How could a man dictate your relationship with a child? Your child that you gave birth to. And as a mother, I couldn't do it. And see, my oldest, I'm really looking forward to spending some time with him, but I, with me being with Deuce, I got an extra love of my life child, and that's his oldest, his only. He's 18 or fixing to be 18, and his name's Taylor. So I'm surrounded by good men, and all of them a little bit different. Aruba, that's an interesting way to look at it. But on top of everything else, I think that I hate to say this, it's going to sound really bad, and I really don't mean it to be, but I really feel that her passing is my closure. Does that make sense? And if so, can anybody grasp it? Because it's like there's no need to hold on to the anger no more because all I can do is repair the damage, and there's no need to be angry and resentful and all that no more. That stuff's gone because it left with her when she left this earth. Is that
Oh,
and so
oh,
yeah. And the thing, hey boys,
are you gonna pull my skin?
so the interesting thing about myself and my mother is that I speak like her, I look like her, except maybe minus probably 50 pounds because I'm heavier than her. I'm also taller than her, but my face structure and all is as much my mom as it is my dad. And like when I'm around my dad's people, a lot of them, they'll look at me and go, "You're acting just like your mama." So I still to this day will say that I have a lot of her mannerisms, a lot of her behaviors. 90% of the things I cook in my kitchen, I've learned from her. Not because she taught me, because I wasn't afraid to sit down on the bar stool behind her and watch her closely. She was never a teacher. I'm surprised she ever went to nursing school because she was just, I believe that, and I had ADHD. I got diagnosed with it in my 40s. And, but I've known that I had it once my kids were diagnosed with it for years. But I believe she was a little like that too because she just she just couldn't get herself together, as far as her thoughts and things like that. So, but she managed to hunker down and graduate from school and earning an LVN. And the day she met my stepfather, she was out partying and she was dancing on the tabletop. And he walked in the door and he was 21. He was 21 and she was 31, fixed to be 32. The divorce papers from her and my father, the ink was not even dry. The ink was not dry on the divorce papers, and and a part of me wondered if she met him while her and my dad were together, and that's the reason they aren't together now. My dad moved on and made different choices also, so there's a lot to deal with at that age, and then you getting two step parents involved in it, so that's one of the main reasons I spent so much time alone with my kids is because I don't want that for my children. Men were not allowed to just live in my house and come and go every time I wanted to, private time with a gentleman. It wasn't like that in my house. I didn't do that. My life stopped when I was raising my kids alone, and it became about me living my life for my children and making sure that I do my job as a parent and not be their friend, but be the person that guides them. And I did it alone with a child with disabilities for many years. So when I say that Deuce changed everything, Deuce changed everything. I mean, meeting him, it changed everything. And now I can kind of understand the joy that people feel when they're truly happy, you know. So it helped me understand. He helped me understand that, and a very interesting conversation with God took place to bring that about. So it was just the way it all happened was interesting, and then the next thing I knew, the man that I'm with, I couldn't even now imagine being without. So there you go. He stuck with me no matter how much he fusses about it. He stuck with me. You guys take care of yourself. I'm fixing to let you go. I've rambled enough. I might ramble some more before the day's out, but I'm not going to keep you any longer. So, because that blaring TV is about to drive me nuts. But I'm going to go out and smoke a cigarette and clear my head. But you guys, y'all, please, by all means, just be thinking about me the next couple of days. I've got a lot of demons to deal with. Aruba, I always appreciate you being in here, and I still can't wait to meet you, chick. It's going to be fire. Yeah, you guys take care of yourself. Um, Freedom Rally or Freedom Weekend is incoming, and I can't wait. I'm getting excited. So, yep. Aruba, I want to get with you beforehand. Maybe even the weekend we get there on the copyright issue, and because we're bringing the speaker so we can jam. I ain't studying that. We got to figure out a way to be able to have the music boosted up that weekend. I know, right? I can't wait to see you either. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to meet all of you. Um, so, and we fixing you talking about food? Good grief, there's fixed to be some food. Silly's bringing two lasagnas, and her lasagnas are 6 inches thick. We're everybody's bringing meats for the grill, and Deuce and I are going. Me and Deuce are going to stop and get some corn so we can throw some corn on the open fire pit. And yeah, we just gonna eat. We're gonna eat. It don't sound like there's gonna be no shortage of food. Everybody bring their own alcohol. Everybody that's got a flag, bring their flags. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. Because what we're gonna try to do, Aruba, I don't know if you were present when it was last talked about. So let me run through this real quick before I end the live. We want to join up with J6 when they go to sing the national anthem and or everything that they do, that everybody joins them in the national anthem is one, and then God bless the USA. We're going to try to do a live where their lives are pulled up in the background, and in like unison, we're all going to join in and sing with them with our flags and stuff. I think it'd be really cool, and it'll be a cool tribute to J6. Glory B's in our chat a lot, and some of us come from her chat as well. So we're gonna show a little bit of respect to the J6 prisoners by joining Glory B, because Glory B is Deuce's channel, and Stormtrooper as well will be there. So as far as we'll have him up on the screen, it's going to be an interesting. Turn that TV down. Dadgummit. Get out of the food, Christopher.
I'm here.
Aiden, get out of the food. Will somebody tell me what it is or how you were supposed to be able to afford groceries for 2 teenage boys? I mean, it's unreal how much food these 2 children can eat. And then you got Deuce, a grown adult who eats like a bird. I eat more than Deuce does, to the point that he's just like, but see, I was raised on country groceries. I was raised on country food. And Aruba, we're gonna want to go live while we're grilling out anyway. So, and we're gonna have music. We're bringing the 2 boxes so that we can jam. And a lot of the music I have on mine is the same music they play at the vigil every night. Some of it not. So we're just gonna kind of mix it up. We've got a DJ that actually is really good, that is a friend of ours, and we're gonna see about him coming up and actually doing music. You guys will enjoy him, and I want to see how much how much it'll cost to rent him out for the evening, and see how much he'll charge me, because it would be a wise investment. Let's put it that way. So, Aruba Dive Girl and everybody else, Deborah, and I don't see nobody else really chatting, so that's all I see right now. I appreciate everybody coming in here and just listening. It means the world to me that you guys were here. Like I said, I may be back in a little while, because right now I'm just trying to decompress and get everything in my head. Talking to your friends helps that. So, but I appreciate you guys being here. Y'all say a prayer for me. I love y'all. We'll talk to you guys later.